participants. So welcome back, okay, to the second IEEE 5 minutes final year project 5M FYP competition 2021, and this is the grooming workshop number 4. Okay, and first of all, I would like to thank everyone who has successfully submitted your semi-final videos. Those who didn't manage to submit, it's okay, but this is, however, this is a really good session for you to brush up, to maybe prepare, okay, for the coming year or the real, any other competition, okay, similar competition. Okay, so let me introduce, okay, let me introduce a bit about our coach, okay, Dr. Mohd Zuhair Mohd. Okay, Dr. Zuhair obtained his Bachelor of Engineering, Process and Food, and Master of Science from University Putra Malaysia, UPM, and his PhD in Food Processing Engineering from Victoria University, Australia. He has 2 years of industrial experience as a mill engineer in one of the largest plantation companies in Malaysia, Sime Darby Plantations, Berhad. He is now a senior lecturer at the Department of Process and Food Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, UPM. And Dr. Zuhair is actually the finalist, okay, the finalist for the previous 3MT. Okay, so today, in this coaching session, we do encourage all of you to open your camera and ask questions through the microphone if you have any. Okay, and we will review some of the semi-finals video, and Dr. Zuhair will comment, and there will be a Q&A session. Okay, so without further ado, I will pass the session to Dr. Zuhair. So Dr. Zuhair, okay, the session is yours. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day, everyone. Thanks again to Miss Lin for the introduction. Okay, hi everyone. How you guys feeling today? I really hope that, because this is a coaching session, I really hope that we're going to have some interaction lah, a two-way communication, instead of me just babbling, you just listening. So I really hope that I also going to get some feedback from all of you, yeah? Okay, so before I even start this coaching session, let me just do some background checking first. May I know any of you are still studying now, doing degree? Or any of you, okay, wrong question. Maybe I should ask, any of you already completed your study? Yeah, anyone? If you are very shy to answer my question through live, maybe you can also type in the chat box. I think that's the norm of the new generation now. They are more comfortable to do all the communication to the chat box, because my students also do the same thing. But I think because this is a communication, public speaking competition, so I mean, like, the selected participants should at least have some confidence to speak, right? So nak kena tanya lah ni. Ame, what about Ame? Are you still a student?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're still a student. So you're still in the very beginning stage of your FYP, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, what about Chihoy? Chihoy?
Yes, doctor.
Okay.
I'm still studying and I'm conducting my FYP too.
Okay. So this is the first semester or the second semester of your FYP?
Second semester.
Second semester, okay. Irdina? What about you? Are you still studying, or you already got a job, finished your study?
I'm still studying. Currently, just finished my FYP1. We'll continue with FYP2 in next semester.
Okay, okay. Okay. Sitting? What about you? We can hear you. Sitting.
Yes, I'm still studying.
Studying, okay, that's good. Okay, so I would say that all of you are still studying. So because this is very important for me to do the background checking, because this is a 5-minute final year project competitions. That's mean in your presentation, it consists of all the element of a final year project. Yeah. That means that you need to have some introduction and problem statement. You need to have some methodology, and also you need to have some result. or the outcomes of your project. In which, if you still don't have it, because most of you are still in the very early stage of your FYP, what you can do, you can include some expected outcomes of your project. Because if I were to be the judge, yeah, for this competition, for your information, I'm not the judge, yeah, for this competition. So that's why I've been selected to be the coach, yeah. One of the element that I'm looking for is the element of how you smartly or cleverly arrange your presentation, that it should contain and consisted of all the element of the final year project. Yeah, it's not 5-minute proposal presentation. It's not 5-minute business proposal. It's a 5-minute final year project. So when it's come to the final project, it should have all the element of a final year project report. Right or wrong? Agree or not? Oh, diam lagi. Okay, tak apa. It's okay. But there's some introduction about it. Okay, for this session, we're going to have like 1 hour session. So I've been asked by the organizer to review some of the selected videos of presentation. It's random, yeah. It's a random video presentation by all the semi-finalists. Only we are going to review 5 of them. So sorry, for those who have been selected for the review. It's not like your video is not good. Yeah, we are looking forward to find the opportunity to improve your presentation so that you will be more ready when it's come to the final stage. Yeah. Okay. So before that, I would like to share some slide regarding the preparation of the competition. Okay. So everyone can see my slide. Okay. Boleh?
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So again, my name is Dr. Mohd Zuhair Mohd. I'm from the University Putra Malaysia. So just a little background about myself. Yeah. Besides being a senior lecturer, I have some experience lah. Not much experience, but just a little experience when it comes to public speaking. In which one of it, if you know about the 3-minute thesis competition, okay, I got an opportunity to join one when I was doing my PhD in Australia, and I got 2nd place at that time. It was a very nerve-wracking experience for me by considering that we have to compete with Australian students in front of the English native speakers, you know, so it was like, you know, at that time, initially, I was like, I just want to try my best and see how far I can go. But eventually, I got 2nd place. And, you know, that's kind of like proof that Malaysia boleh lah, one thing. And the other thing, because my English is not really that fluent, maybe some of you might have a better English command than mine. But I mean, like, if you practice a lot, if you do a lot of practices and you prepare, you will be able to achieve the aim of your journey. So beside that, I also, during my degree time, that was back in 15 years ago, 13, I can't remember, 2003, 2004, that time. Okay, 17, 18 years ago. Okay, at the time, I got an opportunity also to challenge myself to be one of the radio DJ in a campus radio in UT Putra Malaysia. We call it a Putra FM. And, you know, being the only engineering student who challenged myself to be the DJ, you know, some other students who becoming the DJ at the time, they were coming from the communication background. So I'm the only engineering student. So I mean, like, I don't care. I just want to challenge myself. I love to talk. So why don't I channel my passion and my interest to do something that I love to do, which is to talk and to benefit as many people as possible. And that's why also during my degree time in Melbourne, Australia, I also offer myself to be one of the volunteer radio DJ in one of the community radio in Melbourne, Australia. It was conducted in Bahasa lah, because we have like every hour we have a segment, different languages, focusing on different ethnicity. So that time I was conducting a program we call as Suara Melayu Melbourne. And beside that, during my school time, I also joined debate team up to until national level and so on. And I also becoming MC and host to many events locally and internationally. So that's about my story. I don't want to brag about myself, but I just want to show to you that you can do everything that you want you can achieve everything that you want if you are serious about it. Yeah. So I also coach for 3-minute thesis contestant from the Faculty of Engineering, University Putra Malaysia since 2017, in which every single year we never fail to produce winners in the national level. And in fact, in 2018, we have Dr. Yasmin Mustapha Kamil. I believe that all of you know her. She started from the same faculty as mine, so I was her coach, the initial coach of her, and she managed to be the winner of the 3-minute thesis Asia Pacific level. Yeah, that's very good. That's the highest achievement that our team have achieved lah. But beside that, we also have some other PhD student, 3-minute thesis competitions for the PhD student that got also 3rd place, 2nd place, and also a winner in the national level. Yeah, so that's why I am very so-called very passionate when it comes to coaching related to something like this. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for challenging yourself and deciding to be a participant in this competition. Yeah, this is not a very easy decision, because one of the what they call it, the most hardest thing, the scariest thing, the ranking number 1 is the public speaking. So if you were to challenge yourself, that's proof that you can overcome your fear. Yeah. So I really hope that this unique event will help you to understand your own research better, improve your public speaking skill, make new friends, and see what are the interesting research is happening around you. So again, let's like Puan Lin mentioned just now, maybe if you're not selected for the final, if not selected to be the winner for this year, but I really hope that the knowledge, the experience that you gain throughout the whole journey will make you a better person, because you are not going to just do a public speaking in this competition. You will have to do it a lot of time in your lifetime. Yeah. Yeah, the apa, at the end of your final year project, you also have to do the presentation, right? But during your when you jump into the career world, you also have to do a lot of public speaking. So that's why it's really good if you can, at least prepare yourself and gain a lot of knowledge in order to be a better public speaker. Yeah. So for the preparation of the competition, it should start with the speech first. Yeah. When it comes to the speech, as I mentioned before, this is a 5-minute final year project. That means it's consisted of all the elements of a final year project, including the introduction, method, result and discussion, and some conclusion, in which the first step for you to do is to prepare the speech. Because we are not native speaker. I don't know, some of you may be born overseas. Maybe your first language is English, but not me. So what I need to do when I prepare myself for any kind of competition like this, we need to prepare the speech first with something that is very basic, and then from there we refine the text in order to synchronize with the timing, because for this competition, timing is very, very important. If you pass that 5 minutes limits, you will be disqualified automatically. Or if you finish earlier, it was just what it is a loss lah, because you still have more times to convince the judges that you should win. Yeah. And then what you can do when you already have the speech, I believe that all of you already have the text. Now it's just a matter of refining the text for the final, but you need to make sure that the timing of each section of your text should be reflected to the proper proportion of a presentation, because we also need to tally with what the judges want. It's not like what you want to say, but what the judges looking to give you higher marks. Yeah. So you should have some introduction and method, in which I think this is based on my estimation. You should allocate around 160 seconds for that, 100 seconds for the introduction and 60 seconds for the method. Yeah. For the introduction part, maybe you want to start with something that is a bit, not really that serious, you want to share some of your stories, you want to, yeah, I think also Dr. Salahuddin already shared in other session about storytelling, right? So because you know what, everyone, you know, regardless of your age, whether you are a 2-year-old kids or a 20-year-old man or a 100 years old ladies, everyone loves storytelling, you know. So that's why when you open your mouth, once upon a time, people will immediately have some engagement with you because they want to listen to your presentation because they know that there is a story behind that. Kita kan kepo kan, kita suka cerita-cerita kan. So that's why storytelling is a very strong element that you need to put into your presentation in order to attract the audiences and also of course the judges lah. Yeah, that's why for the introduction part, you need to stand by a few seconds for that. And then you move to the methodology, in which in this methodology is a bit tricky because some of you might just present it in the surface, on the surface. Some of you might be very technical, too detailed. And also in terms of the result and discussion, most of you are still in the very early stage of your FYP, so you still don't have any solid result yet. But I think what you can do, you can include some of the expected outcomes, expected result based on what you have studied in the literature review, right? And then you need to have some conclusion. This conclusion should also link back to your introduction. I'm going to give you example later. So okay, so the number 5, the content and structure of your speech will depend on how far into your research you are. Okay, so yeah, if you're still in the very early stage, you can share some of the expected outcome. But if you already have some of the result, you can share that. But I mean, like the definition of this competition is to communicate your project among the non-specialist audience. That's mean avoid jargon words. You don't expect that the judges, then the audience know everything about your project. You know, the only people who know about your project, who's the only people who know about your project? You and your supervisor. And also maybe your examiner later. Yeah. But beside that, people have different background. If you were to manage to successfully convince people from different background to understand at least some gist of your presentation, then that's reflect that your presentation is a very good presentation actually. Yeah. So that's about the speech. And also I would like to also touch on the slide, though the slide is not really a big element of your presentation, because the highlight of your presentation should be yourself, not the slide. The slide is just to aid your presentation to give more impact. However, though the roles of the slide is not really that significant, but if you do it right, it will really tremendously help you in order for the audience to understand your presentation more. Yeah. So some of the tips for the slide: more picture, less word. Your slide will attract the audience. Should be static, no animation are allowed. So this is some of the rules. Okay. So this is the example of the bad example of the slide. You can see here, it's too crowded, though it have many pictures, but who want to see this slide? If you are not from the same background, if you are not the supervisor, the student supervisor, I don't care about this slide because it's too crowded. I don't have enough time. There are a lot of problems in this world that I want to think of instead of solving the puzzle of your slide. Yeah. So we don't want that to happen. Yeah. So this is a good example of slide in which it's simple, but it's really helped. You can see the dengue detective. This is a slide prepared by Dr. Yasmin during her time of winning the 3-minute thesis competition in Asia Pacific. Very simple, but it's helped to understand the mechanism behind the instrument, the equipment that she developed. It's a rapid detective kit, something like that, by using light. So this slide, simple, but it will give a significant impact to the audience. Yeah. So yeah, but I think most of you already prepared the slide. Maybe we have to do some editing and so on. But the most important thing is the rehearsal part. Make sure that your speech finishes within 4 minutes 45 for 45 minutes. Okay. So you have 5 minutes. Okay. And the final will be live. So we allocate another 15 seconds for you to have some clearance. Yeah, it's maybe you start with word, you suddenly forget about the text and so on. So we have like 15 minutes clearance. But unfortunately, based on the video that I watched, for your semi-final, I found that most of you finished at 4. That means you still have another 1 minute that you can fully utilize to convince the judges more and to include more content in your presentation. So use the time wisely. Once you have put the speech together, time to start the rehearsal. So when you try to do the rehearsal from time to time, the speech is becoming mature and maturer. So you can then connect with the slide. So when you want to know whether your rehearsal is good or not, when you're ready or not, when you do every single rehearsal, you find that the timing will be more or less the same. Yeah, if you finish the presentation by 4 minutes 45 seconds, and then the next time you do the rehearsal again, you finish at 4 minutes 46 seconds, let's say. So the timing is still consistent. Yeah, so even for the timing part, okay, I just want to go back to the element. We can also, sorry. We can also do the timing according to the different section. Okay, we do the timing according to the different section instead of calculate the timing at the end of your presentation. Why don't we divide the timing according to each section that we want to present? So we know if we finish our method part past that 160 seconds, let's say, so we need to fasten up in order for us to catch up before we reach that 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah. Okay, set for rehearsal. Okay, timing is very important. You will disqualify if you present more than 5 minutes. The speech is only 5 minutes long, so you can afford to do practice run a lot. And try to practice in front of the mirror or record your presentation by video camera. Present in front of your supervisor and friend and get feedback from them. You know, because your supervisor is the one who understands your project very well. So ask him or her to present in front of them and get feedback. You know, maybe some of you misunderstood the project. So maybe your supervisor can simplify your project a little bit more, you know. And some of your friends, you know, I still remember during the time I was doing my, I participate in the competition in Australia. I even practice in front of my Australian friends and ask about my pronunciations. You know, I just want to make sure that people understand every single words that I said during the presentation. Certain expressions are awkward to say even though they look good in writing. Though sometimes your text is very perfect, but when it's come to do the speech, the public speaking, you need to do some alteration or adjustment so that it will look naturally. It's not look rehearsed. It's not look like you just read through the script. And also this is another challenges that I don't think I faced during my time with the technical part, because you have to do it online. The internet connection is very important. Make sure that during the competition, the final competition, you go to place where the internet access is stable. And then please, if you can have proper lighting, you know, you can buy something like the O-ring light, or you can use handphone or torchlight whatsoever, but make sure that the lighting will help you to pop up more, because you know the judges are human too. So these are some of the small things that might also affect their mood in order to give you marks. Yeah. In terms of your web camera, you know, I can say that we have some tendency when we do presentation, we don't look at the camera, we look at the screen because we want to see our face. But try if possible, look at the camera, like look at the pinhole of the camera instead of looking at the screen, you know, because that way you can have some eye contact with the audience and the judges. But in my case, because I want to see the notes here, so sorry. And also in terms of your attires, yeah, please wear proper attires to make sure that you look pleasant. Yeah, so that's the technical part that you have to also bear in mind. Some tips in public speaking: no need self introduction in salutation. Okay, so I found that the videos that have been given to me, most of them you start the introduction by introduce back yourself. Okay, hi, hello, my name is Mohd Zuhair Mohd. I'm from University of Malaysia. Thank you for the judges. Thank you for the chairman. Thank you for my parents, whatsoever. No need that. Because, before you even start your presentation, the host, the MC already introduced your name. So no need for you to spend time, waste time doing the same thing. So you can already start your presentation straight away to the introduction of your project instead. Yeah? Okay, everyone loves storytelling. Okay, again, I already told you before. So if you can, include some element of personal story or humor or something like that. This depends because some of you, we are not born like Haris Iskandar, yeah. We can just automatically make jokes like people will laugh, Some people just being very serious. So it's your strength, so just use it. But I believe that you can start with something that is more related to people, the audience. They will appreciate your presentation more. Timing is crucial again. I keep repeating, timing is crucial. Introduction and conclusion should be delivered in such that they will give impact to the audience. It's good if both are linked to one another. If you start like, I'm going to start my presentation by one story, and this has happened during the time when I was going to school. I still remember at that time, when you start with something like that, people will like automatically engage to you. Yeah. And then after that, you try to link that story to your project. Or maybe your project is about maybe what kind of example that I can give you? Solar, let's say solar system. Okay. I born in the farmer village, very rural area in Pahang. In our area, electricity is a big issue. I can see the struggle of my parents who need to use the electricity in their daily life. I struggle too. That's why it triggered the aim of my project, which is to develop a solar system that is going to help the people like the people in my village. Something like that. When you do the introduction like that, people will like, wow, okay, I can imagine that. Okay, you're coming from the rural area, no electricity whatsoever. Okay. And then you link back with your conclusion. After that, you think you present about your solar system, the technical thing, blah 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 blah, and so on. So for conclusion, I totally believe my project will give significant impact to the people in the village of mine. People in the village of mine will not going to struggle anymore to find the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see that there's a link between the introduction and the conclusion and give impact, because people still going to want to listen more about your presentation. Okay, and people like dynamic presentation into the pace. Some of us have some tendency when you are panicking, we tend to speak in a faster mode, like we know that we have to reach that 5 minutes, we cannot pass that 5 minutes, so we tend to like just spill out all every single thing that we memorize, blah 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 blah, blah, and like that. So people will not going to appreciate if you are rushing. So just take time, pace, and vocal projection is also very important. I can see the tendency of the Malaysian, yeah, this is Malaysian presenter. When we want to do some presentation, we tend to increase our volume one octave higher. Like if it's different compared to when we are talking in the normal conversation. For example, like Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about solar technology. Something like that. You know, we have some tendency when we are panicking, we try to increase our volume so that it's going to like, kononnya lah, will attract the audience. But you know, if you can see some of the videos from overseas, they are doing it in a very calm way, in the very mature, professional way, but still the vocal projection is there, you know. When it's come to the vocal projection, what you can do, you can try to do some vocal drill before your presentation. You know, like the singer do, like ha 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 ha, ha, something like that. You know, because sometimes if you don't start with that, your vocal cord will be very, how to say what uh you will sound very shaky. Yeah. So it's good for you. You drink warm water and do some vocal drill first in order for you to project, not increase the volume. That's two different things. Yeah. And also in terms of the intonations. Okay. When you want to play with dynamic, some part of the presentation, maybe you want to highlight more. For instance, like you want to highlight more about the technology that you are using for your project. So you highlight that with a very stressful intonations. But some other part that is less important, maybe you can just say it in a very calm way, or yeah. So it's about the intonation that's going to help you to make the audience to follow your presentation. Yeah. Pace your speech part according to the priority. Okay, so yeah, again, introduction for the 2 minutes. The first 2 minutes is the introduction, also the methodology, and then after that you see timing 2 minutes, and then another 1 minute is for the method for the result in discussion, something like that. So you pace your speech part according to the priority, and also if you want to highlight more, because this is if I were to be the judge, I want to see about the what the content of your project, not the introduction part. The introduction part is just to attract the audience, but the most important thing is what you want to present about your project, not others' project, and highlight the key point by different intonation. If you're talking about solar, maybe some very technical words like, I don't know, quadratic system of software, something like that. So make it in different intonation so that people will know that that's the highlight of your project. Okay, don't underestimate the power of pause. Some of you are very panicky and you say start to state blah, 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 blah. But you know, sometimes we also need to pause so that the audience will have some time to digest every single thing that we said before you start with the next part of your presentation. So don't understand the power of pause. Like what I did now. We pause just a little. Okay, improve your pronunciation by referring to website like Google Translate, how Jay say, and so on. You know, sometimes we have this, I know, because this is our second language, so sometimes the pronunciation is not really good. People will not going to understand. So improve it by listening to the proper way of pronouncing every single words, and coordinate your movement, gesture. I mean, like your body, hand, eye contact, and so on. You know, because in your presentation you will be sitting like this. The only thing that you will be appear on the screen is your face and also your hand. So use it wisely in order to help you to highlight a certain point in your presentation. Yeah, don't just don't don't just apa don't ignore your hand. Please use it wisely when you want to let's say highlight a certain thing. Just highlight it by using hand gesture. Okay. So the judges' criteria, the first one will be the comprehensiveness and the content. Okay, the most important thing I think is whether it have all the element of the thesis, and also it should be in the clear and logical sequence. And then did you spend a lot of time in certain section? You know, some of you might spend a lot of time on introduction, but only just 30 seconds of your project. So it's not really proportioned wisely in terms of your, and don't use jargon words. Okay, try to avoid. If you is it is not is unavoidable to use some jargons word, because that the main thing in your thesis, in your project, make sure that you introduce it and use that dynamic or pronunciation to highlight that jargon word so people will remember that. Okay. And okay, sorry, in terms of the second thing that the judges will see is the communication and engagement. Can the audience relate and understand what you're saying? And will they remember you after your presentation? Oh, that banana guy. Oh, that solar guy. I remember his presentation. Or when they ask about your presentation, I can't really remember lah what presentation that he done. So that's mean your presentation is not really impactful. Did you include some element of humor or personal story or enthusiasm in your presentation? You know, because when you are enthusiastic about your project, it will reflect to your presentation. Yeah. And did your slide clear, concise, and eye-catcher? Do you have sufficient stage presence, eye contact, vocal range, confident, and maintain a steady pace? Yeah. Don't move your body a lot. Okay, just use when it is needed. And try to imagine if someone, a businessman from overseas, you want to pitch to that investment to give money in order to support your project. How you're going to do that with your presentation? Yeah, how you're going to catch their attention? Try to imagine that. Okay. Okay, I have actually an example of a video, and this is for Dr. Ashwin Charles Benedict, but I don't think we have enough time for this. But you can have a look, and this is one of the, I think, one of the best video that you can follow and see how he managed to incorporate every single element of a thesis in just 3 minutes. Like in your case, we have 5 minutes, and it also includes some element of the mechanism, what happened, the science behind his project, instead of just surface, you know. So you, if you got time, you can watch that presentation. So yeah, I think we are running out of time actually. So I think we need to start with the video that had been given to me, and this is random. Okay, start sharing first. This is random. So I'm going to start with a video. Sorry, the first video, and this is what have been given to me. Muhammad Aizat Muhammad Mohtar. Ada ke Muhammad Aizat kat sini? Okay, so let's just watch the video together. Okay, while watching the video, I want you to also try to critically think what should be improved by this video, okay? Based on what I have presented just now.
Sorry, sir, there's no audio.
Oh, okay, sorry. Stop sharing. Okay, thanks again, yeah. Okay, start again.
So a few months ago, my friends and I went to a shopping mall. We want to buy a new shirt and clothes as it is the start of new semester. So new semester, new clothes for us. So we entered the shopping mall and went to a shop. We saw various kind of new design shirt and clothes with different kind of colors, with different kind of design. From all black plain to a simple white color to a combination of color, black and blue, red and yellow, everything. So everything we just saw is mesmerizing and we want to choose only one shirt and went back home. But at that time, I wondered how is actually our clothes that we are wearing right now is made of. Specifically how our clothes are colored, like my shirt here is blue color from the textile industry. So I started a simple Google and found out that our shirt and clothes are actually being dyed with various colors to make this one shirt of clothes. Surprisingly, the annual production of the dye itself is 100,000 types of color. But yeah, what's so important to know about this fact is that during the process of dyeing our clothes, the wastewater from the dyes are being released to water sources without proper treatment. So this is the main problem. So just imagine you got 100 times of different colors of dye mixing with our river, sea or any water sources and become water pollution. Just imagine a glass of concentrated red syrup water that we love to drink. It is the same. So aquatic life is the most affected organism since they are highly dependent on oxygen and sunlight penetration to work out their ecosystem. So as human, we are also affected, especially that are highly dependent on sea and river as their source of major income, like fishermen. So what about us? As the end user, are we going to have a meal in front of us with a polluted fish containing colored dye? Are we going to eat a black and a blue fish? But the point is, why at the first place these colored dye are not being treated properly? Well, the colored dye itself is a complex chemical compound with a long chain of chemical. So the conventional wastewater treatment are very selective towards pollutant. It is complex procedure and it is very time consuming and expensive to remove all the colored dye. So that's why certain manufacturers just release the dye waste to water sources without even want to treat the dye waste. So in my research, I had developed an advanced material which acts as an adsorbent to absorb all the colored dye away. So this material works similarly like a sponge that we can find in our home. So a normal sponge that we use works as to absorb soap water to wash the dishes, while my super sponge absorbs all the colored dye, which result to a better water property. Crystal clear, I can see. So contrary to the conventional wastewater, my super sponge is flexible with any types of dyes, cost-effective, fast, and easy to use. The super sponge that I had developed was tested with several indicators to make sure it is powerful, which are the contact time with the dye solution, mass of the sponge, and to investigate either my super sponge are good in acid or alkaline dye solution to know the true potential of my super sponge. So this will help to determine the perfect condition for a higher absorption of the super sponge. So super easy, just throw away my super sponge in a concentrated colored dye solution, shake it a bit, and voila, we have a better properties of water. Like I said, crystal clear of water. So next time when you want to buy new shirt and clothes, don't worry. My super sponge is here to help to get away to remove all the colored dye for you. So case closed. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, thanks for tuning into my
Sorry
presentation.
about this one.
I'm
Okay, so anyone want to comment? Okay, we have another presenter. Okay, anyone want to comment anything? Okay, first of all, I would say that from the positive part, I say that Aizat presentation is very good because he started with a storytelling element and then he end back by linking back with the story that he started. So that's a very good a good intro and conclusion. Yeah, good, very good intro and ending part. And also the pace is also very good. He's not rushing, he's really calm, and he's very good in doing the intonation because he kind of like it's like he's talking to us, you know. It's not like he rehearsed, it's more like he presenting. And also okay, so that's about the good part. So the improvement part, ada ke kat sini? Aizat ada ke? Okay, kalau Aizat tak ada, is okay. So the part that he need to improve, the first thing, he kind of like has spent almost 3 minutes on the introduction itself. And that's a very long proportion for the introduction because we want to know what is your project instead of the introduction. So introduction spend the introduction and the method, around 2 minutes is enough. Yeah. And then after that, focus on your presentation. Focus on presenting your project, in which for his project, he mentioned about the super sponge. And then what lacking is, because maybe he doesn't have that time, because he spent too much time on the introduction. The lacking part is the mechanism. How the super sponge absorb all the dye. Is it because of the hydrophobicity properties? Is it because of the ion strength? What is the mechanism? How the magic sponge managed to absorb? And then maybe he's in a very early stage of his FYP, so he doesn't have any result yet. But because he's also claimed that the project is can produce fast and cost effective, so you want to know how fast is it? 2 times, 3 times faster than the conventional way. And about the cost effective, how are we going to reduce the cost? How many percent? 60%, 70% cost reduction? You can estimate that based on the literature studying. And then he also still have another 30 seconds to go. He finished at 4 minutes and 34 seconds. So that's mean he can also still include some other element that haven't been included before to his presentation. So overall, it's a good presentation, but still there are a lot of room for improvement. Ada tak lagi? Anyone want to add anything to his presentation? No. Semua tak berani. It's okay. So we are going to move to the next video, and this is video by Lam Chi Hui. Are you there? Ada. Lam Chi Hui. So this is your presentation. Sorry, okay?
The purpose of my
Random selected.
My final year project was to design a facial emotions and drowsiness detection system with the aid of the Generative Adversarial Network. In short, GAN. GAN is a framework where two neural networks compete against each other. A generator will be trying to cheat the discriminator that evaluate the real candidates from the fake. Before we start, please let me ask you 2 questions. First, do you ever fall asleep when you're doing something? When you're studying, watching a movie, or listening to someone's presentation? And the second, do you ever affected by your emotions when you're doing something? Any emotion, happy, fear, or even angry? I believe that most of you will answer yes to both questions. So, it is obvious that these behaviors are human nature. It doesn't matter about your gender, age, or your position. Everyone has experience with this. Do these behaviors affect our daily life? The answer is definitely yes. According to the Ministry of Transport Malaysia, nearly 600,000 road accidents happened in 2019. How many are due to sleep deprivation or emotion aggression? Although we do not have statistics to prove the direct relationship between these behaviors and road accidents, but people always believe that they are highly correlative. From the explanation just now, we can see that the interaction between sleep deprivation or emotion aggression and road accident does not receive much attention by researchers. Until now. Here comes the solution. So, for my final year project, I designed and developed a facial emotions and drowsiness detection system with the transfer learning of GAN to generate impressively photorealistic high-quality image of faces and work together with image of open or closed eyes dataset to train the detection system. Several image processing and computer vision techniques such as region of interest detection, image resize, image normalization, and color space conversion are implemented. Currently, for random image input, the detection system can differentiate happy and neutral faces along with open and closed eyes. And for real-time webcam input, only face detection and drowsiness detection are succeed. The alarm will be turned on when the eye status detected is closed continuously for 5 seconds or beyond. More effort will be done to enable the facial emotion detection with its alarm for the webcam input. Lastly, let me leave you with one short story. A man set this detection system on his car's dashboard. One day, he returned from work overtime in the late night. When he is driving, he felt sleepy. One moment before he falls asleep accidentally, the alarm of this detection system wakes him up, and he is safe from hitting a street lamp. Before the autonomous vehicle are available, perhaps this detection system will help us to save more life. Thank you.
Okay. Oh,
Hi, my
okay.
Hello.
Okay, for Chi Hui, okay, the good thing about your presentation, you are very calm, you know, that's formal presentation. However, sometimes it's too calm, I would say, too formal, because too formal means boring, you know. You need to, I know you have some effort to do some dynamic in your presentation, but I think you can improve more. Maybe you can use a lot of hand gesture, and because your facial your project is about facial emotion, so I really hope that you can use your face to give more facial expression, because you're talking about happy, sad. Your facial expression is almost the same for all the all the emotion. So maybe you can improve on that. But I really like your question at the very beginning introduction. You know, you don't have to start, hello, hi, my project is blah 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 blah. Stop that, eliminate that. But you can start with, hi, I'm going to start by giving you two questions. The first question, blah 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 blah. And the second question, blah, 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 blah. When you ask question, that means you want to have some interaction with the audience. And the audience will start thinking, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So that's the way to attract the audience to engage with you more. So that two question is good, but don't start with hi, blah, 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 blah. You start straight away with the into question. And I really like the proportion of your presentation is really good, because you spend enough time for the introduction, and then you start with your project and enough detail of your project. But I think maybe in terms of the finding, you can, you know, expected outcome, maybe you can give more. For example, like how fast, how rapid the detective can the detection can be done prior to any accident, something like that, you know, because your project is very important, you know. This is like a breakthrough project, I would say. People will love this, you know. People can engage with this because everyone is driving, right? So people can oh, this lady talk about that face detection while driving. Okay, I can remember her. Oh, I wish that the detector already sold on the market, so I can buy and then you know, avoid myself from getting in the accident because of sleepiness. So you know, your project is already very engaging. It's just a matter of how you are going to make sure that people will relate more. Yeah, and this is based on the way you do the presentation. Facial expression can be improved, and also in terms of your slide, I think your slide is okay, but because gun is the major part of your project, so I really hope that you can put the gun and also what is the meaning of gun in your slide, you know, maybe at the bottom of your slide or something like that, because gun is the at least people, because you introduce the gun in the very in the introduction part, but still, you know, because it's a long sentence, or I mean, like, people still not going to get what gun is. But if you put in your slide, people can refer back to the slide to know what gun is. Is it okay? Okay, and also you have 1 minute left, Chi Hui. So please use it wisely. You can spend another 45 seconds to give more. Like give example, you give example like people driving and then save life. Maybe the conclusion you can relate back with the question that you asked in the very beginning. So I mean like ni, and this is a very crucial project that will change the life of someone. You know, at the end of the project, we really hope, we totally believe that this going to help to save life on the road. Yeah, and give more expression and more enthusiasm on your face, because people will see whether you really enjoy doing your research or not. Okay, Shihui, okay?
Okay, thank you, doctor, for the advice. I'll try to
Okay.
improve myself.
Okay, so we move to the third video. This is Siti Nur Irdina Alwi. Ada ke? Ada Irdina. Okay, so we tengok.
Hi, I'm a proud student of UNIKL MIT, and I'm so delighted to be part of this competition.
Okay,
I want
eliminate
to
the
take this
introduction.
opportunity to take a moment to give respect to my friend who just lost all of his family members after getting vaccinated. Thank you, and I'm sorry. I know Dr. Salahuddin will be disappointed with me as I started my presentation with a lie. None of my friends has lost their family members due to vaccine, but I believe some of you are surprised and also believe with what I just said, don't you? Why did I did that? This is related to the problem statement that I would like to explain a bit more. Some of the irresponsible people, known as anti-vaccination activists, give wrong information gained from unknown resources and spread nasty rumors about vaccination, which has caused panic to the public. According to Germany and Bill Anderner in 2021, the anti-vaccination movement is on the upswing, spreading incorrect information about vaccine safety on the internet and leading to a troubling drop in immunization rates around the world. Vaccine myths and misinformation are severe hazards that the World Health Organization is working hard to combat. What we can do to solve this problem? Maybe we can just let them choose what they desire and help increase the number of vaccine hesitancy and let the contagious diseases spread even badly. Is that what we want? I know it is hard to change someone's perspective and understanding. It is even harder when it comes to health decision. But I believe we can make a change for our future generation by creating awareness among school children by using the multimedia technology. This is why I would like to introduce Vaccinated Augmented Reality of a short VNR. Vaccinated will come with a fun storybook that provides information about fundamental knowledge of vaccination and also comes with a special mobile application, which is Vaccinated AR application. The user can interact with both storybook and application. It will bring the information to life. They just have to scan and see the special 3D animation popping out from the storybook. And also, I've added a fun game by using AR Core Foundation that is created for them to play while using the application. I believe this approach is one of the best solutions to help with this problem and ensure that this awareness is successful. In addition, there are many awareness campaigns for children using technology. This is supported by Rahman and Wangit. Children are found to like the AR storybook enormously that they are more fond of choosing the AR storybook than other materials. In a nutshell, a better understanding of vaccination could help the future generation to analyze any pieces of information that they receive whether it is a fact or maybe it is another misinformation spread by irresponsible people. Let's help our future generation by preparing them with the correct fundamental knowledge of vaccination and avoiding vaccine hesitancy in the future. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
So, Irina, okay. Are you listening, Irina?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. For me, I think a very good slide. I start with the positive part first here. A very good slide is very apa? Eye-catchy lah. Eye-catchy present slide. It's got all the element to help people to understand your presentation, and a very good introduction because you try to twist the scenario. You know, it's a bit different from storytelling or asking question. You twist the scenario by giving some other scenario, but maybe okay, the first thing, don't start with introducing yourself. Okay, start with, can you imagine blah 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 terus, yeah. And then don't mention about Dr. Salahuddin, yeah. Though I know Dr. Salahuddin personally, but don't mention about him. The judges will not know who Dr. Salahuddin is, so don't mention his name. Okay, so good dynamic. I love your pace. You have some dynamic. You talk to people, and I can see you do have some eye contact with the camera, and clear method. The way you explain the method is clear. However, you can include more in terms of methodology, in terms of the depth. Yeah, you are explaining the surface of your project, but what about the depth of your project? How do you develop the apps? How do you develop the webinar ni? Macam mana? What kind of software ke apa benda semua? And have you tried to people? And what are the correspondence or the participant you are going to test this? And then the expected outcomes also is very important for you to also highlight. At the end of the day, people want to know whether this is going to be a successful to be implemented in the school or not. Yeah. You just provide another alternative for the student, but you don't know whether the student will like it or not. So explain more in terms of the expected outcomes. Yeah. In terms of the other room for improvement, your voice is naturally husky. Dengar sikit suara.
Yes, my voice is husky, and sometimes it gets worse.
Okay, yang ni okay. When you talk ni, okay. But here in the presentation, it was very husky. There's, like I said before in the slide, do some vocal drill first. Warm up your vocal cord so that you're not going to be husky, because it's okay husky. Ella husky. But you know, some of the words maybe it's not going to be pronounced properly. People not going to get what you say. So we try to avoid that. Okay. So try to do vocal drill first before you do the presentation, so that your vocal projection will be better. For this video, it's a bit husky, though I can grab all the big ideas, but I really wish that your voice will be a bit more rounded. Okay. And then you spend too much time on the introduction because you only started explaining about your project after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So please cut a little bit on the introduction part. I know you want to give something different. Avoid your self-introduction and Dr. Salahuddin whatsoever. And then after that you can, I think 2 minutes is enough for the introduction part, because we want to know your project, not others' project. Yeah. So expected name, don't mention about it. And then during your presentation, you also mentioned during the introduction also okay, but during your finding, you mentioned about Rahman 2000 other study. Don't mention about study. We don't want to know about other study. We want to know your study. Yeah. So don't mention that. And okay, you still can use some balance of the time. You finish at 4 minutes and 32 seconds, so still have another half a minute to be utilized. So that's about your presentation. Okay, Dina?
Dr. Zahir, actually I wanted to ask because currently I'm doing my FYP1, so I didn't have the result yet. I haven't conducted it. So what can I do to replace the result?
Do you have any references that kind of like do the same thing?
The exact same thing. I
Like
can't
the
find any.
maybe the augmented reality for children
For the
in
related one,
not
yes, I do
uh,
find.
not for vaccine one, not for the ni immunization, but for other subject lah, maybe other subject. Maybe you can based on their result and finding, you can also, it is expected by using this method, the awareness among the kids student will increase by 60% compared to before. And then we really hope that this also going to give significant impact in terms of how to reduce the cost of giving more campaigns among the school student by 30%, something like that, you know. Just play around with number. I want to know about numbers. Something numbers. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's for Edina. We move to the fourth presentation. It's already 5:15, but I really hope you can finish this as soon as possible. Okay, this one is Amira Shahira. Ada ke Amira? Ada ke?
Yes, I am.
Ada. Okay. So let's just listen to Amira's presentation.
Is technology evolving faster than society can handle? 30 years ago, people barely knew what a computer was. A decade ago, you couldn't buy a plane ticket or book an Uber or even rent an Airbnb on your phone. The past 10 years have brought us countless life-changing innovations. Technology's disruptive nature continues to transform our world. Thanks to technology, it is now easier to go work or perform household chores. There are various gadgets and equipment that help people live their life more conveniently. It has also influenced various fields in today's society, such as transportation, education, and also medicines. With our technology as a major consumer of our time and also an exciting experience in our world today, are you motivated to generate something new? So,
okay, I nak stop kejap. I really like the hand gesture. So everybody please look how Amira used the hand in order to help her with the presentation. Bergerak tangan dia.
over the year, as what we can see, our gadgets, our computers, televisions, and many devices today are become smaller, lighter, and also become more easier and very convenient to bring everywhere. Have you ever think how this could be happen? Yes, of course it is because of the chips itself become very tiny and sometimes it's hard to see with our naked eyes. What kind of the component that make the chips become small? Yes, this is our transistors. Nowadays, there were billions and maybe trillions of transistors have been designed into a chip. Most laws state that the number of transistor and resistor of a chip doubles every 24 months or 2 years. So, are you ready to know more about this? My research is about finding new nanomaterial, which is medicines. Have you even ever heard that material before? No? So, medicines are a family of 2D materials, transition metal carbides and nitrides. Medicine were first experimentally used in lithium-ion batteries for energy storage. Medicine also have high electrical conductivity and mechanical properties of transition metal carbides or nitrides. Also efficient absorption of electromagnetic wave. On my research, I try to observe what happens if you doping the medicines with other materials. Is it become more better on their electrical conductivity? Or maybe something hilarious happen? No, hopefully nothing silly will appear since a lot of research has been done on it, and what we found is only the great findings. So what's so special about nanomaterials? Nanomaterials are special for several reasons, but for one in particular, their size. Nanomaterials are up to 10,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair. It's crazy, right? And this tiny size makes them very valuable for all kinds of practical uses. Nanomaterials offer lightweight and strong materials for applications in the automotive and construction industries. So, how do I do? My job is analyze and offer the great material for engineers out there to use for their innovations in electronic technology, especially in semiconductor device. I studied about special characteristic of mezzine nanomaterial. I will design the structure of mezzine and change its dimension into a few numbers. Then I will observe the behavior of mezzine when we dope it with other materials. We observe the band gap, also the density of state, and the transmission spectrum, and also lastly, the IV characteristic of that materials. So, with the great materials, of course, it will give the best result and the better functions of semiconductor devices in our future. So, are you ready to change the world? It's better now than ever. Thank you.
Okay, so Amira, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, the plus point, you really good in your intonation, you are really good in your dynamics, you are really good with your introduction. I really love your hand gesture, tiny, tiny. You know, this small gesture will really help the audience to understand more the impact of your presentation. Just use this hand gesture tiny. People, oh, okay, kecil. Okay. And good proportions of your presentation in terms of the content and good explanation of the project. I love the way you explain your project in detail. Yeah? So there is some depth in your project. Instead of talking about nano, but you're talking about you mix with other material, something like that, kan? So, and also for me, I think the slide is also good. Simple, but it's help. But okay, so for the improvement part, okay, there is some boundary, some boundary between becoming a performer or a presenter, and you are kind of like in the very close border to become a performer instead of a presenter. You know, because sometimes you that fake is is unnecessary, because we try, I think maybe just tone down a little bit, just a bit tone down. I really like your dynamic, your enthusiasm in explaining, but just tone down a little bit. Try to avoid that fake thing. Macam apa, you whisper like that and then something like that, you know, because you know people know that it's fake, you know. And if you can see some other example of how the overseas presenter do, they are more composed, they are more mature. It's good to be you, but in the same time, try to have a balance between becoming, you know, like that, a storyteller. For Amira case is special. For everyone, I asked to be a storyteller, but for Amira, just tone down a little bit. Don't be too much of a storyteller. Because at the end of the day, this is still an academic presentation. We have a standard. We want to present in the most professional way. Okay, Amira?
Okay, so thank you.
Well, sorry, yeah. Okay, so and then I wish that you also can include some of the expected result. You tak ada expected result kan? How small is because you try to make it as smaller kan? How small is your chip compared to the conventional one? And then how fast in terms of the, I don't know, the chips punya speed and so on. Maybe you can include some lah, expected outcomes. And maybe for me, I think for the introduction and the conclusion, maybe you can include because you are talking about the history of computer or something like that, maybe you can relate with something that is more engaging to people. Like everybody now has handphone, right? Can you imagine during our great grandfather, the size of the computer is big as 2 house building, something like that. So people, oh, okay, and now it's getting smaller and smaller due to what? To the technology of chip, something like that. So it's more engaging, I think. Maybe you can include some in the introduction part, and then in the conclusion, you link back. I totally believe that by this project, we'll be able to produce a smaller type of chip that we are going to make sure that in the future, our computer is no longer in front of us, but instead in front of our eyes. Maybe guna spectacle ke something like that lah. Yeah. Okay. Clear tak? Amira. I just give you example, but I'm not from your background, so I don't know. I just give you example. Is wrong, don't follow me, okay? Okay, so we move to the last presentation today, and again, yeah, this is random, yeah, I don't know. The organizer asked me to review on this video, so I just review lah. So for yang tak ada review tu, I'm so sorry. Maybe you can use all the tips that I have been given throughout the whole session ni for you to improve your video and your presentation. Okay, so we have our last, Muhammad Amir. Ashraf ada ke? Amir?
Ada.
Ada. Dah habis kelas dah?
Sudah.
Okay, so we start with Amir's presentation.
Have you ever experienced a sudden loss of internet connections? Or maybe a poor internet connection and it takes some time for you in order to load into the online session, whether it is a conference call or maybe an online learning session? Well, I think it's safe to say that latency plays a big role in this case. Hi, my name is Amir, and for today I will be talking about latency and relate it with my project on how we can implement a machine learning system to study the patterns of the latency and predict the outcome and prevent any interruption for that day. So I will start off with explaining what is the latency. Maybe most of us have already heard the word latency, but maybe majority of us does not understand well what does it mean in the case of network system. So latency in case of network system is the time that it takes for the network system to deliver the packet from location A to location B and back to location A. And I will give you an analogy in order to explain the rate of latency when it's high and when it's low. So let's imagine where we have a delivery person tries to deliver a package from point A to point B. We can say that if it is a high rate of latency, we can assume that when the delivery person tries to deliver the package from the point A to point B, he will experience a lot of traffic jams, and there are many cars on the road, and along the way he will see a lot of traffic lights, and thus making the package delivery took much longer time. And we can say that when we experience a high rate of latency, we will experience a poor internet connection because the packet delivery are slow. And when we are saying about a low rate of latency, we can say that when the delivery person tries to deliver the package, he travels on the road smoothly without any traffic jams and not many cars on the road, and along the way he does not see many traffic lights. So the package delivery will go very smoothly and in much quicker time. And now I will try to relate on how we can implement a machine learning system to study the rate of latency and predict the outcome for that day and prevent any interruption of the program for that day. And in my idea for this research is we try to give the patterns, the algorithms for the machine to learn and understand whether the condition, when the condition of the network will be stable, when it is unstable, when the latency is high, when the rate of latency is low. And so when the machine have already learned all the algorithms and patterns of the rate of latency, then it can analyze for that day. Let's say it detects that the performance of the latency sometimes good, and then at some point it spikes up high and goes back to normal, and then spikes up again and goes back to normal, and repeat for a few times. Then it can say that the internet connection for that day is unstable and it is not safe, or maybe better to reschedule any major activities for that day so that there will be no interruptions during the online interactions. So for the case of, let's say, if it detects that the rate of latency is low and stable along the way, and it will send a message to the administration and say that it is safe to proceed with any activity for that day because the internet connection is stable for that day. And for today, I think that is all I will talk about. Thank you all for lending your time for me to explain about my projects, and may we meet again sometimes. Thank you.
Okay, Amir. Okay, for the good part, I think the pace is good. You know, the way you very calm, composed, and you have a very good tone. Penyanyi Tak ada sedap suara. Very calm, and I think the way you explain your project is good. You have some depth in terms of the way you explain the project, though I wish that you can include some of the expected result. However, don't start by introducing yourself. Okay, so please make sure if you were to be selected for the final, don't start with hello, hi, my name is Ame, and blah blah blah. No, you can start with the introduction terus, yeah. Sebab the MC already introduce you, and then you have some dynamic, but after a few seconds it came to monotonous tau. Macam tu, because your tone is very soothing. It's kind of like this sometimes at some point it's becoming monotonous. Yeah. So you need to work on the dynamic of presentation. You need to know where to highlight, where to stress on, where to fasten your presentation, where to slow down your presentation a bit, when to pause and so on. Because the way you talk is a bit monotonous. So you need to try to tackle them by try to, I don't know, the way you talk to people, is it like this or different? So try to make it a bit more casual. Like your case is a bit more formal, and you need to increase it to be a bit more casual bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for the conclusion part, don't say about okay, see you again lah, apalah semua. We're not going to see you again after the final. So okay, so for the introduction and the conclusion part, because your project is very interesting actually, it's about the latency, yeah, and people can relate to that. You know, I don't know if I'm not mistaken, when we are using our handphone, if some latency lah kan, kalau late, we getting late internet connection tu lain.
Yes.
Okay, so
It can be.
it can be okay. That's a very good start. You know, you can, you know, relate that with people. Have you can you imagine while you are really in a very urgent situation, life-threatening situation in which your handphone doesn't work as per expected, and the delay of 26 seconds of your phone will decide whether your life will be end or not. Can you imagine that? So that's the most important part of the term latency, you know. So I don't know, I just give you some rough idea. You can develop from there, because when it late lah with something latency, it can be related to personal matters. It can be related to businesses, big businesses. If late 20 seconds, the business will lose like $20 million. I don't know. Maybe you can also relate to that. So that's, you can start with that, and then you can conclude with that. By troubleshooting this latency, I believe that we can save hundreds of millions of dollars to our business in Malaysia or worldwide. So something like that lah. So you link back your conclusion with your introduction. Okay.
Okay.
But okay, so something like that, you can move on, and also your dynamic. So you already have the text. I can say that, and also please, your face macam bagi lagi enthusiasm tu, nampak lebih berminat untuk, you know, speak to present your work, yeah. Because it's like, I don't know, maybe you're a very calm person, but you need to make sure that the people will reflect your presentation and see that you are very passionate about your project. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so that's 5 videos that have been reviewed. I'm so sorry for the rest. they just give me these 5 videos for me to review. But again, I already shared some of the tips, and also we have go through all these videos, and you can also get some tips from the video and from the comment that I give from each of the videos. And I wish you all the best for your final. If you are not selected for the final, it's okay. It's not the end of your life, and you can still use the same tips during your Viva, during your FYP presentation, during your interview, during any time of your part of your life, because public speaking, we will have to do a lot of time in our life, right? So before we end, any question from the audience? Anyone want to ask any question? It's half 30 minutes already. Kita dah lebih. Kita sepatutnya habis pukul 5. Anyone want to ask question? Okay, no question. Kan dia dekat dalam chat? Okay, sorry. I stop sharing. No for me. Okay. Cihui, no for me. Okay. Okay. So if no other questions, so we should we end our session today. Thank you. And I'm so sorry for the harsh critics for me. But take it in the positive way lah, to improve your presentation, and I really wish you all the best. Hopefully you will be able to win this competition. And yeah, okay, so I pass back to Dr. Nadiah ke Lin ke? Lin. Okay, I pass back to Lin.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Zuhair, okay, for the very informative comments. Okay, so yeah, we do hope that everyone take notes on all of the comments, and yeah, prepare for, if you're selected for the final, yeah, prepare the best. Okay, so that's all. Okay, anything, Dr. Nadi, you want to say something?
Group photo.
Oh, group photo.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah, group photo. Yeah. Please, everyone, let's open your camera, and we have a quick one, group photo.
If you can, please turn on your videos. Lynn, you want me to help?
Ame,
Thanks, Jane.
Wei Chen. Sure, we can wait. Okay, we're going to have a full. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, other group don't really have a full picture.
Okay, Amir, your face is still not visible. Are you going to show your face?
Yes, hold on.
All right. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. All right, got it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Jap. Thumbs up.
Apa lagi?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thumbs up. Okay.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, all the best,
Bye.
everyone. Good luck. Okay, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zuhair.
Okay, saya boleh keluar
Boleh.
Thank you.